The Big Dog Postgame Show is brought to you by VienerX Consulting. We make your company work. And by Rick Jaklitsch, the big dog himself, at the Jaklitsch Law Group.
Good afternoon from CQ Stadium. The Maryland Terrapins 44, the Towson Tigers 17. I'm Wayne Viener. Mason is away from the camera this afternoon. We will hear from Bruce in the studio in a little bit. This is the Big Dog Postgame Show. Look, the Terps came out, needed to get to 3-0 because they're headed to Wisconsin next week, and this season is underway. You're looking for a better run game. You're looking for a little more dominant performance, and I think for three quarters, you got that. Malik Washington on target most of his three quarters of really active play, and then the Terrapins move on. They get Christian Martin in, and they even get to the third quarterback, who is from Murray in D.C. That's Roman Jensen. So the Terrapins get to play almost everybody. And sure, it affected the score. Maryland could have won by more, but Loxley has to see what he's got. So many freshmen and sophomores played today. It's good for team development. Now, back to the top of this, Malik looked a lot more on time, texting with Mason and Bruce. You started to see that the progression, getting the ball down the field, became the priority. Passing up the shorter throws, going deep. You get a few long touchdown passes, and you can see that video here. So that part works well. Running game, still not all the way there. I'd like to see a little more aggressive commitment to the run. But I think as you see this season develop, this is a passing team.
The Terrapins 17, Towson nothing.
Defensively, Maryland was all over the Towson Tigers. Part of that's Towson, but part of that just is the talent level at Maryland. Mathis, Stewart on the ends, really nice game. You've got Reddick, you've got Wingate in the middle. They played well, and your defensive backs. Even though Towson didn't have that much time to throw the ball, you're looking for guys to come up and make the tackle when there's a play in front of them. Defensive backs do that. So for the three quarters of the game, Maryland pitching the shutout, looking great. I mean, at that point, you've played 10 quarters plus of football, you've ended up 16 total points. Absolutely outstanding performance all the way around. Get to the backups, and I think we all can agree those backups really weren't ready to be on the field today, but that's part of the development process. Loxley's done this year over year, trying to build that depth up. Offensive line-wise, not as solid as you could be. Starting the second half, they go with Howerton at guards. That's a little bit of a change. You got Hershey in the middle, and Howerton at guard. He comes in and replaces Alu Ba. You have Scott at one tackle, Heron at the other. Solid performance there, not spectacular. Pass blocking, pretty good. Run blocking can use some improvement. Overall, even special teams, you see a block punt here later in the game by Delhomme. And boy, Delhomme plays all over the field. We see him cover the slot defensively on one side and make the tackle all the way on the other side at the boundary. Great coverage by these safeties. Scruggs, Delhomme look top shelf. Husky a little banged up today, didn't play as much. So for the 2-minute wrap up, really happy for three quarters. That's the part of the game that mattered. We're on to Wisconsin next week. Wisconsin loses to Alabama today, and we're gonna have Bruce come in and talk about the difference of being on the road and getting into Big Ten play here in a moment. I'm Wayne Viener. This is the Big Dog Postgame Show. We'll be back in a few after you hear from Bruce.
All right, Bruce Posner here in the studio, and Wayne, a clear-cut win. I'm not going to say easy win. Towson put up a good fight as best they could, but they just didn't match up well against the Terrapins, especially in the passing game. It seems to be a pattern. Malik Washington threw for 261 yards, hitting guys all over the field. Shalik Knox again, Octavian Smith. He was just on the money.
Third and 8, Webb and Manning to the right, Jaleel Farouk to the left, Fleming's the tight end to the right. We'll raise the tailback. Here comes the blitz.
You know, they got up 38-0, and they really took the foot off the pedal. I don't know if Loxley wanted that or not, but that's what happened. But now they're 3-0. That's what we wanted. We go into Wisconsin, going to be a tough game. Wisconsin gave Alabama a decent fight, but lost 38-14. Their offense isn't that great, and their passing defense got exploited. Their running defense is super because of the size of their defensive line. It's going to be a tough game, but it is a game that the Terps could win. All right, I really believe that. And I know Wayne and Mason are going up there to cover it, and I'll be back here in Baltimore, but it's a win. They're 3-0. That's all we could ask for when you play 3 games. And Malik has looked great. He throws the ball across the field with precision, makes very, very few mistakes. And I'm real happy with the way he's going. And that Maryland's 3-0. You get 3 more, you're in a bowl. You get 4 more, you've had a good season. But it starts for real. We got the Big Ten next week. Wayne, back to you.
The Big Dog Postgame Show is brought to you by the Big Dog himself, Rick Jaklitsch at the Jaklitsch Law Group, and by VienerX Consulting. If you need internet, don't pay the rack rate, pay the insider rate with VienerX.
Back on the field at CQ Stadium, thanks to our sponsors, of course, the big dog himself, Rick Jaklitsch, and VienerX Consulting. Enterprise technology management is a buzzword of the day. Enterprise means everything from interacting with your business plan to security, to the PCs you use, the training you get, the entire package. Look to VienerX to make sure that your business is ready to win in this new digital AI space. Great choice for all of your technology needs. So echoing what Bruce said, yes, it's different. Mason and I headed to Wisconsin next week. It's Big Ten play, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 o'clock Eastern, and you're going to see Maryland have to move. The offensive line for Maryland is going to have to move 7 big-time defensive players for Wisconsin. They bring the D. Wisconsin lacking on the offense. It sort of plays right into Maryland's strength and weakness. Maryland's defense right now, I would say, is a strength, plus the passing game with Malik. Running not so much. It's going to be a big challenge for this offensive line to handle Wisconsin's defensive front. On the other side, you might get Billy Edwards back if you're a Wisconsin Badger. He's been a little more effective on paper than the backup has been. Look, Wisconsin, of course, had trouble with Alabama. Alabama probably a cut above where Wisconsin is right now. Maryland, Wisconsin, I'm still looking at Wisconsin to be a home favorite, maybe as many as 5 or 6 points. Just going to see if this freshman quarterback, younger group overall, can go on the road and get a Big Ten win, but this is a great opportunity to do that. Defense is growing together. We're going to try and get a Sidney Stewart. There's a here Mathis to pop in to the podcast. And if you haven't listened to the TerpTalk podcast with Jordan and Mason, you should give that a listen. Let's talk about, we're going to divide now into the fourth quarter. We talked really about the first 3 in the beginning of this postgame wrap-up. In the fourth quarter, you see the fact that there is depth here. Those guys can play, they just haven't been out here. There was a lot of freshmen and sophomores. When they came into the contest, you went back to the problem with some penalties, some blown assignments. I think through this season, the injury bug, of course, is going to hit. It hits every team, and we're going to have to elevate the play of some of those guys. So I hope Loxley and the gang can get to those freshmen and sophomore, coach them up, use this game tape to help them develop, and we'll see which one of those hits the field. Overall, 3-0 is what you wanted when you started this. You got 3-0. You have your chance to get to 4-0. After Wisconsin, you get a bye week, and then Washington comes in a couple of weeks, and it's just all Big Ten from here on out. I'm excited heading to Wisconsin with a chance to actually make this into a really positive season here next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chiming in. For Bruce, for Mason, for all those texts throughout the game. I'm Wayne Viener. This has been the Big Dog Postgame Show. We will see you on the podcast later this weekend and then midweek as we get ready to head to Wisconsin. Good afternoon from College Park. The Terps 44, Towson 17.